Good morning, students. Students, before we proceed to the concluding part of the lesson, let us do a quick recap of what we learned so far. We learned how, in the pre independence period, women had to face several problems such as child marriage, female feticide, domestic abuse, and other such problems. Now, all this is because the problem lies in the mentality of men towards women. Now, let us move further. Now, here in this graphic image, you will come to know that certain number of seats have been reserved for women as per the 73rd and 74th Amendment Act to the Constitution, where they had to provide, there were one third of the seats of women were provided in the Gram Panchayat, Panchayat Samiti, Zila Parishad, municipalities, and municipal corporation, as well as for the post of Sarpanch, Chairman, and Mayor. Maharashtra and 15 other states have reserved 50% seats for women. So you can see equal seats for men and women. This provision provides women the opportunity to participate in the business of the community. So now here we can see that women were not only told to do household work, but they were also participating in the politics, in the business. Okay? In the post-independence period, the Constitution of India accepted the principle of equality of men and women. Hence, women got the important political right to vote. So, first, as we were knowing that women were not allowed to vote, but now slowly they also got the right to vote. Women got equal rights to education and work on par with men. Inhuman practices like sati, dowry, and polygamy were banned by law. So, all these acts which were there before, they were all banned by the government. Women's right to sue for divorce was recognized. As I told you before, only first men used to take divorce, but now it was the right for the women also to give divorce. They got a lawful share in property. In local self government bodies, seats were reserved for women so that they would have their just share of political power. So, everywhere they were given equal rights. We see today that due to these provisions, women have begun to get education and to earn. Also, due to the ideas of women liberation, women are developing a sense of self. They have begun to participate enthusiastically and with determination in all fields of education, earning money, administration, politics, etc. So nowadays, when you look at women, women are participating in everything, whether it be in education or in jobs, in politics. We have seen that women are participating in everywhere. Now, there are some examples of women. They are Kiran Bedi, Sudha Nayak, and you have so many other women entrepreneurs and other women who have been doing exceedingly well in other social fields also. Okay, now next up we will learn about the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribes. In the post-independence period, our constitution adopted the values of freedom, equality, fraternity, and social justice. In accordance with this, the practice of untouchability was banned by law. So all these different types of practices which was done earlier, everything was banned. Untouchability was removed by the 17th paragraph of the Constitution. and this class was included in the scheduled caste. In view of the educational and social backwardness of these castes, they were given reservation in education as well as job to facilitate their development. Now you know about scheduled caste, scheduled tribes. We also see in the colleges or schools form that they have the right, some seats are also being reserved for them so that they also get education. Next we'll move to is scheduled tribes. Now just like the scheduled caste, the scheduled tribes or the Adivasis who lived in remote parts of the country, they also had to face severe difficulties. As they have lived far away from the progress made in modern times, these people used to live very far away from the city. They were economically and socially backward. They did not have that much money. Even though their conditions have seen some improvement in recent times, they do not have any means of livelihood other than agriculture and forest produce. So they do not have proper houses other than agriculture, other than growing crops. They don't have a proper house to stay. Modern farming implements have not yet reached them. Hence, their income for agriculture is very small. Nowadays, we have modern equipments used in agricultural work, but they don't have that also. So, their agricultural work is also, the agricultural income is also small. Besides, their fields are on hillsides and not fertile. Now, we all know that to grow crops, we need a fertile land. So, they don't have a proper soil also to grow crops. They are malnourished due to insufficient and poor quality of diet. They are, you can, malnourishment, they do not get proper food, they don't have proper income, so they are facing a lot of problems. Adivasis in remote areas find it difficult to get medical attention in time. So they don't have that proper medical facilities also over there. Okay. For all these reasons, there is a need to give special protection to Adivasis. In the Indian constitution, Adivasis have been enumerated as scheduled tribes. They are getting given representation in law boards, education, government services, etc. So there are certain amount of seats also being reserved for them so that they should also get proper education, proper jobs. So government has given them reservation of seats. Next up is the nomadic and denotified tribes. Now you have seen the graph that is given over here. You must have seen many of them in and around you and staying in temporary settlements. Now what are denotified tribes? Denotified tribes, they are the tribal people that were originally listed as criminal tribes and addicted to systematic tradition to non-available offences. Once a tribe becomes notified as criminal, all its members were required to register to the local magistrate. Falling with there were charged with a crime under Indian Penal Code. Now this happened in the British India. They moved from one place to another for their livelihood. They lived, how did these people live? They lived by rearing animals and engaging in some other occupation. Now they have to have something for their stomach to eat. So they used to do these kinds of work. The British had declared some of them as criminal tribes. This unjust law was repealed in the post-independent period and the curbs of these tribes were lifted. Okay, then there was no such rules. They were included under denotified tribes. Special efforts are made by the government for the purpose of their social and economic development. These tribes have been given representation in educational institutions and the government sector. So just as scheduled tribes and scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, these denotified tribes also were given certain reservation of seats where they could take education. Now, next is about the minorities in India. Now, in any society, a group of people of a particular religion, language, or race who are few in number, they are termed as minority. As there are various religions, sects, and languages in our country, we see great cultural diversity. Now, you might be knowing that in India we have diversity related to culture, to languages, to religion, right? So, that is why it's said diversity. There is variation in cultural traditions too. In order to preserve the cultural traditions and develop their own language, the constitution gives the citizen certain educational and cultural rights. Minorities have the right to protect and conserve their language, culture, and tradition. For this purpose, they have the right to set up separate educational institution. The government implements various schemes for their progress. Now, minorities, as you know, there are separate educational institution. For example, if there's a Catholic school or a Gujarati school, first they see that the students or the children from their religion gets the seats. Okay, so there are educational institution also which are giving reservation for minorities. Okay. So here we come to the conclusion of this lesson. Okay, we will learn the next lesson in the next video. Thank you for listening, children. Goodbye. Take care.